Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's been a very informative hearing, and I will ask simple questions because that's all I know how to do here. So, simple question. The rates in Europe are by regulation, is that right, Mr. Sheedy?
Yes, Senator.
The argument is that rates are high here because we have a monopoly, no competition. Is that right, Mr. Cantor?
That's right.
Okay. So you agree with me, Europe doesn't use competition to get rates down, they use regulation. Are you proposing we use regulation or competition?
We're proposing competition. That's what's in the bill.
And there's no data about what competition does yet, right?
Actually, there is, because in many places around the world, they do have that competition
Like
on
where?
credit cards.
Like
so France, Denmark, South Korea, also several of the debit systems, including in the
talking
U.S.
about
and
credit
Canada,
cards.
have competition as well.
For credit cards?
So that's on debit, but in Europe and Korea,
so
it's on
here's
credit.
my point. We got two systems here. We got a regulatory system that reduces cost to consumers, and Mr. Alford, you say in Europe it actually does benefit the consumer. Their lower exchange fees.
The lower exchange fees do benefit consumers with respect to the price of goods and services because 70%.
Okay. The question is, if you lowered their costs, would it matter to you, the consumer? At least in Europe, the answer is yes.
Can you repeat the question?
At least in Europe, the answer is yes. The regulation has lowered costs to consumers.
Yes, the regulation in Europe has.
And in theory, competition would lower cost here.
Yes, I mean,
Do you prefer competition or regulation of the fees?
I prefer competition, and I think that the.
Does anybody prefer regulation? Okay.
Well, regulation can be pro-competitive, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't have any.
The proposal is to not have a price caps
You know, the proposal is to create competition.
through
Right?
through routing restrictions.
So
Exactly.
Senator Durbin's not proposing regulation, he's proposing competition. Is that correct?
Yes, introducing.
And in Europe, they don't have a competition, they have regulation. Yes. And we know in Europe, the swipe fees are cheaper, right? And you tell us, Mr. Alford, in Europe, the consumer benefits.
Independent studies have revealed that there is significant pass-through, yes.
Okay. And you say, Mr. Shee, that consumers in Europe get less rewards. Is that correct?
Their fees are higher and they get fewer rewards.
Are their fees higher than yours?
I'm referring, Senator, to the fees that are being charged by
Wait a
the
minute.
banks.
No. The swipe fees in Europe are regulated at what? 0.3.
Correct.
Okay, and what are your swipe fees?
The average interchange fee in the United States on credit is approximately 2%.
Okay, again, this is simple. 2% is bigger than 0.3, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So here we are. What I'm trying to figure out is, should I do a regulatory approach? Because nobody really can tell me what competition is going to do. I know what regulation is done over there. Now what I want to do is figure out, what do you lose if you regulate? So, Ms. Kirkpatrick, what kind of reward programs are offered? You get reward. What kind of stuff do you get through the reward programs?
Senator, there's a variety of reward
name a
programs
few.
which range from cash back to rewards for travel to rewards for everyday purchases like gas and grocery.
Okay, so lower income people can participate in this reward program.
Yes, greater than 80% of cardholders in the United States can benefit from these rewards.
So, Mr. Cantor, you say that most low-income people kind of don't, they get left out here, right?
They pay more in the fees, and much more of the rewards go to the high-income folks. That's according to the Federal Reserve.
Okay. Do you agree with that, Ms. Kirkpatrick?
I agree that 80% or more of cardholders
No,
in
that's
the
not
U.S.
the question. Do you agree with what the Federal Reserve said?
I agree with the fact that rewards are widely
No, it's a simple
available.
question. Do you agree with what the Federal Reserve analysis was?
I haven't seen that particular
Well, you need to look at
analysis.
it. So here's my deal. I'm very open-minded to a solution. I generally like competition, except when they're monopolies. The whole idea of regulation is to make sure that in a capitalist society, water is in the bank. it doesn't overflow. I don't know exactly how I'm going to come out, but you're having a hard time convincing me that the fees here are set to the advantage of the consumer. Thanks.
Thanks, Senator Green.